Hello again, everybody. Alexi Neal here with Embodied Tarot and Healing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I mean by embodied tarot, because this isn't always something that people are really familiar with, both the word embodied and what the heck that might have to do with tarot. So embodied tarot is a way of being with the archetypes and the energies of our tarot decks that is engaged and active, not passively receiving messages, but actually working with our nervous system and with our bodies to integrate those messages in a way that leads to transformational healing processes. So what this might actually look like is like we're doing a reading, whether it's a collective reading or an individual reading, and there's a moment where it's like, okay, this is something actually that we want to dive a little bit deeper into. And so now I'm going to pull from my background as a yoga therapist to come up with something, whether it's a movement, a shape, a way of breathing, a meditation practice that works with the nervous system, something to help take the energy that that card is bringing up and bring it into the present moment, right now. Right here, not what's going to happen in the future, not what happened in the past, but working with that energy right here so that we can really get the juice from what these cards have to offer us, so that we can really allow these messages to actually come into our lives through the way that we move our bodies through the world, through the way we care for ourselves, through the way we actually feel in our tissues and engage with those feelings. So embodied tarot is a much more engaged approach to doing tarot work. What it also means is that when we step into these readings, whether it's for the collective or for you individually, there is always an opportunity to do something right now that will bring you more into alignment with yourself and with our collective universe. And this is what gets me really fired up, because I so believe that this world needs us. It needs us to be engaged in our healing process. It needs us to show up for ourselves and show up for each other. And what the tarot wants for us too is to empower us to step forward. I mean, literally, physically, step forward and into what is meant for us right now, to what our soul work is right now, to what our authentic way of being in relationship is, where we are at on this path. So I'm going to do just like a really brief example of what this might look like. I'm going to actually pull a little card here, and we're just going to go right to embodiment. We're not really going to do a reading with it. We're just going to talk about baseline meeting, whatever comes through, and go right into how we might embody it if this card was actually coming up in a reading for us. So I'm going to check in with my guides and ask them for that card, what card they would like for me to do this with. Okay, so I work with the Numinous Tarot, at least that's what I'm working with right now. I'm just going to show this to you, the Dreamer of Bells, otherwise known as the Page of Swords if you're working with a more traditional deck. So this card usually asking us to step forward into something that we feel that we are not necessarily ready for yet, but it's kind of giving us that little clue, like it's time to go anyway. It's time to share your truth. So what this might actually bring forward is, okay, let's take a little minute to feel into, when you hear the word truth, where does it land in your body? Right now it's landing really deep in my low belly. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to ask this, what is this card asking to come forward right now? And whatever it is, like these answers can be so personal and so particular. What is asking to come forward from the space where you feel that word truth land? And I'm also going to invite you to breathe into that space. So let's say for you, truth lands somewhere in the throat. You might imagine your breath flowing through this space a little bit more fully, as though it were expanding the airways. With me, it landing deep in my low belly today, yeah, I'm just going to move air all the way down there, and then empty just as completely all the way down there, and then empty just as completely. And now, with this too, there is this sense of like, go, move forward. And so with this, we might explore something like an exalted warrior pose, if you're familiar with that in yoga. Something with our feet firmly rooted, our arms extending up, or maybe we go arms back, heart forward. As you can see, this is all very juicy and very much so like what's happening right now in this reading, and how does it work for your body to engage with it, because not everybody is able-bodied, right, and able to get up and do a posture like that. Not everyone is able to reach their arms up over their heads. But this is what we mean by embodied tarot, is taking the reality of what is here right now and inviting the energy of the tarot card to engage with it and to work with it. The other thing, the last piece that I would say with embodying this card, is that if you get a clear answer on an action that you may be asked to take forward, give yourself a time limit on it. Tell yourself when you're going to get it done, and dig into that a little bit. Be like, okay, what might get in the way of me actually doing this? Are there things that I need to do around this time in order to facilitate a space where this can actually happen, okay? So that's just a really brief example, and this goes so much deeper when we actually do the collective embodied tarot readings, which you can access by joining me on Patreon. That first tier gets you a weekly collective reading with this embodied approach, as well as a collective energy healing every single week where your name goes on my altar. And it's just $5 a month to join at that level. And it's a great way to get to know me, get to know my style of reading, and see if there's something in this that serves you. Sending so much love to everybody watching this video.